to my weekly Wednesday live broadcast. I am coming to you from Nashville, Tennessee, and as you can tell, I am in my hotel room. It is beautiful outside. I am not going to keep you very long today because I want to go explore Nashville so that I can tell you more about it. I still have a little bit of a cough from the COVID experience I had about 3 weeks ago, so I will do my best to not cough too much during the broadcast, but I'm so excited to see you here. You know that I am Anne LaFollette, and I come on live every Wednesday at noon Pacific time to talk to you about art, creativity, and surface design. And I do it pretty much every Wednesday, no matter kind of where I am, unless I am actually inside an airplane. And so let me say hello to a few folks I see online. I can see that Pauline Riley is here. Shelley, I see that you're here today. Dolores, it's great to see you as well. And I am in Nashville, and I wrote my blog a little bit about this as well, that I am in Nashville for a mastermind meeting, for an in-person mastermind meeting. And hello, Virginia Howard, it's great to see you. Let me see if this will work. Hello, Virginia. It's great to see you. You're joining me from my YouTube channel, which I appreciate. You can see that little teeny tiny red icon from YouTube, which means that that's where you're joining me from, which I really appreciate. And so I want to say hello to Shelley. Hello, Shelley. I'm going to bring you on screen there to say hello so you can see that I can see you as well. And what I thought I would do today, because so many of you are actually fairly new in my community, is that I would share my screen for a minute and just walk you through my website, because there's all kinds of great resources on my website, and many of you may not have actually really taken a look at it. So that's where my blog is housed, but there's a lot of other information on my website, and so I thought I would do that next. So let me make sure I actually have it already in the background. And I do have it ready in the background, so I can click one button and have it come on screen. You should be able to see that now. And also thank you so much, Pauline, for giving the link in the comments. It's AnneLaFolletteArt.com. And you can see right here, AnneLaFolletteArt.com. It's a little bit hard to spell my name because I have a lot of double letters in there. There's an E at the end of Anne. There are 2 L's in LaFollette and 2 T's in LaFollette and an E at the end also. But in any event, I thought I would give you a little bit of a tour. So when you first land on the page, you can see a picture of me right here, and this is in my creative studio outside of San Francisco. And of course, my passion is teaching you all about surface pattern design. And you can see that I'm holding a bunch of fabrics that have my surface designs on them, my doodles on them. You can also see that I have a whole bunch of beautiful wrapping papers behind me, because surface design, here, let me come back on screen, because surface design is essentially surface design and surface pattern design. All it means is that you're putting a design on any type of surface. So I'm wearing, this is not one of my designs, this is actually a cacharel dress from Paris, but someone drew all these cute little doodly flowers, and then I teach you how to bring that into Adobe Illustrator, make a repeat out of it, which means that it repeats endlessly from top to bottom and left to right, and then you can put it on fabric and turn it into any type of clothing you want. You can also put it on notebooks, right? You can put it on a notebook cover. So this is one of my fun designs. This is called Italian Orchard. And you can also put it on wrapping paper. You can put it on mugs. You can put it on pretty much anything. If you look around yourself right now, you'll probably see up to 6 things that have a surface pattern design on them. The difference between surface pattern design and surface design is that the word pattern means it's repeating endlessly, like a rug pattern, or a pattern that is on your drapes in your home, or the pattern that might be on your duvet cover. A surface design without the word pattern in the middle just means that it might be an illustration. So it might be an illustration on a tea towel that doesn't necessarily repeat like an entire pattern. It's more of an illustration, like maybe you have something that's along the border of your tea towels. So in any event, when you go onto my website, and I'll click back over there to AnnaFollettart.com, here at the top are all of the different things that you can check out on inside the website. So one of them is information about my mastermind that will be opening up again in several months. I'll be talking more about it. I do have 3 programs. I have a membership called Anne's Atelier. I have a Doodles mini course, which is available to you right now. It's a self-study Doodles program. And then I also have my big signature program, which is called the Pattern Design Academy. We just shortened it to the Academy here. These will click through where you can learn more information about those programs. If you're already in one of my programs, you just click this log in to get access to a course you might have purchased from me, or the membership, or the mastermind. I also have a wonderful resources page. So if I click on my resources page, this will tell you all of my favorite tools and resources. And so if you're just starting out and you kind of want to know, well, what do I need? What tools do I need to get started in surface design? There are some essential tools here. So you definitely need Adobe Illustrator, and you need Adobe Illustrator on a laptop or a desktop computer. You notice this is not an iPad. This is actually because the iPad version is very limited. Then you need some sketchbooks so that you can do your doodles in your sketchbooks. And in my Doodles program, I show you how to take doodles from your sketchbook, bring them into Adobe Illustrator, and then I walk you through step by step how to turn it into a repeating pattern, kind of like what you can see right here, this cute little doodly pattern that's on this computer. So also some favorite pens and pencils that I like. You don't need a camera, but certainly if you have an existing camera, you can take beautiful photographs. And in my more extended course, my Pattern Design Academy program, I show you how to pick colors and create beautiful color palettes from your photographs. And then I also have some optional tools like tracing paper. You can absolutely buy the iPad Pro, and then actually Pauline Riley, who's here today, teaches a wonderful course on how to use Procreate, the Procreate app, to do a lot of your drawing on the iPad. The Adobe Illustrator version for the iPad's pretty limited, and so I basically teach you how to use it on a computer or on a laptop. You could use a drawing tablet. I actually think you should just go with the iPad if you're going to be wanting to do a digital drawing straight onto the iPad. You don't really need a scanner or a light box, but people always ask me what I recommend if you wanted to use one of those. And then if you come back down, if you do watercolor work, I have some fun recommendations for watercolor work. I also have a ton of books on creativity. These are my favorite books on creativity. And then I also just talk a little bit more about how delighted I am that I have you in my creative community. And then if you have any questions when you're on this, you notice there's a little Got Questions button. You can click this Got Questions button and just send me a question. So if you come back up to the top, I'm going to go back to I'm going to navigate back to the top of my website. And here's my shop, which will take you straight to my Society 6 shop and my Spoonflower shop, where you can purchase designs that I've created myself, patterns that are on a variety of different products. Spoonflower primarily sells fabric, but they also sell a variety of products that your designs are on. So you can check out my shops here. And then you can also look at stories. I have a whole bunch of student success stories that are under this Stories tab. If you click that, it will take you over to this beautiful Celebrate page, and you can learn all about my Academy program. You can join the waitlist, and then you can also learn about a whole bunch of my alum and what they're doing now, right? What they're doing now and what their successes have been. So there's also over here where you can go directly to the blog, and I'll go there in a minute. But before I do that, I just wanted to make sure you know you can also scroll down. You can get access to my free ebook, which tells you more about what's involved in getting started in surface pattern design. And you can also see, if you come down a little bit further, that I have a couple of other freebies for you. So many people come into my world and they want to learn about surface pattern design. And so the best thing to do is to grab my free ebook. And all you need to do is click this download here button, and then you give me your email, you come onto my email list, and then you get an email from me. So always check your spam folder because it'll be sent to you via email. I also have a craft fair guide. If you love to go to craft fairs or arts and crafts fairs and you want to sell your products there, I have a lot of recommendations about how to enhance your presentation, how to pick a great merchandise assortment, and a lot of other tips and tricks so that you can really maximize the amount of money that you make at the next fair that you go to. And since we're heading into the holiday season, you may very well be doing a Thanksgiving fair, or you might be doing a Christmas fair. So this is a really, really great guide too. It's also free, so you can just click the download here button. You put in your email address and then check your email right away, because you will get an email from me. Always check your spam folder, because it might be hiding in there, and it'll have a link to the guide. And then here are also my favorite art supplies. And then here is really my most popular way for people to get started in my community is to download this free ebook. And you can see I've got a little video playing in the background. That's my studio, where you can see some of my wrapping papers and some of my other art in the background there. And then if you come down further, you can read all kinds of wonderful testimonials from people who've taken my programs. And I also you can sign up for my emails here, but why don't you grab one of my freebies, right? Grab one of my freebies. And then here I am on my weekly Wednesday chat. You're joining me live. So if I come back up to the top, let's go to the blog. Are you ready to go to the blog? Hello, Vonnie, and hello, Dana Ray. It's wonderful to see you. I have Virginia Hernandez here, as well as Virginia Howard, which is great to see you both here. And let's pop over to the blog. So when you click on the blog, you can see that I write a blog pretty religiously every single Tuesday. I do my best. From time to time, I skip a Tuesday, but most of the time I stay on track. And I write about art, creativity, and surface design. I also highlight some of them. Right now I'm doing sort of an every other week or so highlight of one of the women in my mastermind. Here is Beth Buffington. And if you scroll down further, I highlighted Pat Buchanan, who's also in my mastermind. And I also have both Virginia and Natalie, who I highlighted a few weeks ago. Actually, this was back in August. And so I thought that today I would just talk a little bit about, like, what is a mastermind if you have never been a part of one. And so here is the blog I wrote yesterday that you guys all got via email. Hopefully you opened it and read it, but if you didn't, you now know where to go find it. So if we click through here, I wanted to tell you that I am actually here in Nashville because I'm attending a 2-day mastermind meeting with Amy Porterfield. So I'm going to come back on screen now that you kind of have gotten the tour of my website and you know where to find everything. And I thought that if you have never even heard the word mastermind, or maybe you've heard it but you don't really know what it's all about, why am I here in Nashville? And I've just joined Amy Porterfield's brand new mastermind. And Amy Porterfield is one of my favorite mentors. So for those of you who've been around for a long time in my community, you know that I had a corporate career for 30 years. And then all of a sudden, poof, I had a boss who didn't like me and I got laid off. And I thought that my life was over because I'd always had a corporate job. I didn't know anything else. But I was 55 at the time, and it was really hard to find another job because I would get into the running for the job, but then they'd hire somebody younger. And finally, my husband said, you know, sweetie pie, I think the universe is telling you to figure out something different to do in this next phase of your life. So let me know if that resonates with you in the comments. Say, yep, I got laid off too and had to reinvent myself, and tell me how you reinvented yourself. Or tell me if you're in a stage in your life where you do actually have some time to invest in yourself and you'd like to do something creative because you've always been creative, but you've never taken the time or invested in your skill set to be able to actually build a creative business or just have a creative hobby. A lot of times we're creative as kids, but we don't have examples to follow, or we're not encouraged to go to art school, or we're told that we can't, we're not allowed to do that. We got to go do something else because you can't make any money at art. And that's not true anymore in today's world. And so Shelley said, oh my God, I'm there now. Are you there like right now? So I feel for you, Shelley, because I totally experienced that. And the good news is we have lots to offer. We have lots to offer. And so I, with my husband's encouragement, decided to lean into my creativity. I did not actually do any design work when I was working in retail. My corporate job was in operations, it was in strategy, it was in international development. So I wasn't on the design or the marketing side of the business, but I obviously had a lot of business knowledge. And so when I discovered, I just started to play. To be perfectly honest, Shelley, if you've just recently been laid off, you need to give yourself grace and take the time to detox. Because if you've been in a job for a long period of time, and most likely you're a type A personality, you've worked really, really, really hard, and it's super disappointing to all of a sudden be left without that sort of safety net. You need to take some time to just detox and then start to figure out what you want to do. Excuse me, I have to go get some water. Hold on. So what I did was, I didn't go to art school. So, excuse me. I didn't go to art school, but I'd always been creative as a kid. I loved to doodle, and whenever we would travel, I'd go into the art supply store and I'd buy some colored pencils. So my husband found this huge box of art supplies in the basement, and he was cleaning it out on some weekend. I was at home still looking for a job. So he brought it up from the basement. He said, "Sweetie, why don't you play with some of these supplies? Or maybe it's time for us to throw them out." And I said, "Oh, no, you can't throw them out. Now is the perfect opportunity for me to start to play." And I also said, okay, well, since I didn't go to art school, I want to take an online art class to learn some of the basics and some of the fundamentals. And so I found a very basic online course that would teach me with videos every 2 weeks how to do something, how to draw with my eyes closed, or how to draw with my wrong hand, how to do lots of the exercises that you would do if you had gone to art school. It was so much fun. And I realized in that process that there was a business to be had online teaching art, or teaching, you don't have to teach art, you could teach what you knew in your corporate job, you could teach that online. But I decided to kind of go the creative route, because one of the modules in the course was surface design, how to create a repeating pattern by hand. And I'd never heard of surface design. I never knew how you created a pattern like this, or something that repeats like this. And I was totally hooked. And anyway, long story short, I then developed a program about it. I learned how to launch a program online. I then developed a membership program so you can continue to work with me after the course is over. I then launched a mastermind, which is basically a high-level coaching program with a curated group of people who want to really focus more on the business side of the business of their business. And so I have a suite of products, and you can learn all about them on my website. But for you, Shelley, what do you think might be next for you? Now is the time to give yourself grace and to think about what really will light you up. And so tell us, because I know you're here. And hello, Natalie, I see that you're here as well. So I'm here in Nashville, and I'm so excited to come into this mastermind, because a mastermind is a very high-level program. They're very expensive. Masterminds are very expensive. Some of them are $30,000. Some of them are $50,000. Really, really, really big ones for people who have multi-million-dollar businesses. They want to be in a curated group of people who are at that same level, and those masterminds might cost $100,000. So they're in the creative space. They're more in the there's several of my peers who have masterminds. Mine is the least expensive because I don't ask you to do any travel, and most masterminds involve travel, and you have to pay for your travel, you have to pay for your hotel. So I actually do mine virtually, and which also works really, really well, and it just makes it a little bit more affordable for people to join it. But this isn't really about my mastermind. This is really about why I'm in Nashville and just the concept of masterminds in general. And you really want to be a part of a mastermind when you already have a concept that's kind of up and running, or you have the idea for a concept and you need help executing it. And you're basically wanting to monetize it, and you want to get really, really serious. It's not going to be a hobby. It's going to be a really, really serious, five-figure, six-figure business. But one of the interesting things about masterminds is they're by application only, and you don't know who's going to be in them in the first year. And so a lot of questions that I get when people are interested in joining my mastermind is, well, I want to know who's in it in advance. And you would actually know in my case because I'm in year 2. But in Amy's, I'm going to my first session with them this afternoon in a couple of hours, and I don't know anyone who's in that room yet. And so part of it is trusting the woman who's curating it, and that's Amy Porterfield. And Amy Porterfield is one of my long time mentors since the very beginning of trying to reinvent myself and successfully reinventing myself. I've followed Amy Porterfield. You can go to amyporterfield.com to follow her, and she has 2 courses that she's turned into a $100 million business. Let me say that again. She has 2 courses, sort of an entry-level course and then a signature course, and she's turned that into a $100 million business. And she teaches you how to do courses, because courses are such incredible assets. You create a course or 2 and you sell them over and over and over again, and as you get better and better at growing your audience and finding the right people who are interested in your programs, you can continue to grow your business and make it as big as you want it to be, or as small as you want it to be, right? It's not all about how big it is. So, hello, Janaea. It's great to see you. And Allison Monroe is here. That's fantastic. And so Shelley, I know you're still here live. So if you have kind of any inklings of what it is that you want to do, or and you may very well want to just get another corporate job, I don't know, but it's an opportunity for you to kind of think outside of the box a little bit about how one of the things about having your own business and being your own boss is that you have control. And in today's world where it feels like everything's out of control, it's actually quite nice to be sitting in the driver's seat. So Shelley says, I did go to art school 35 years ago, and very much has changed, that's for sure. I was never a drawing artist, but a graphic artist. Yep, fast forward today, I'm thinking of quilt and fabric designing. Yeah, due to a quilt hobby. Great, I'm thinking the courses may be smart to help me boost my confidence. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So I have a lot of quilters in my community who take my Pattern Design Academy program, because I teach you how to create all of an assortment of patterns that would all go together in a quilt. And because you probably, if you're a quilter, you go to the fabric store and then you buy somebody else's patterns, right? You buy fabric that someone else's designs are on. So just think of what this makes possible for you when you learn how to create your own repeating patterns from your own doodles and drawings or your graphic work, and then you can create in my Pattern Design Academy program. I teach you not only how to do sort of one-off patterns that just stand alone, like this dress is just a standalone pattern, but in a quilt I'm not at home, otherwise I would show you my quilt that has all of my fabrics in it. In a quilt, you want them to be color coordinated. You want them to, depending on the type of quilt you're making, you might want to have some big motifs or small or big motifs, and some you want to have be more kind of a hero print. And this is all terminology I teach you in my programs. But yes, so it's a great hobby that you can then monetize. So I love that you shared that. Thank you. And hello, Annette. Okay, so I usually only stay on for about 25 minutes, and we're at the 24-minute mark, so I don't want to keep you any longer, but I wanted to give you that quick tour of my website so that you know there are great resources there for you, both free and some programs that you can purchase. And also, I'm here to be your cheerleader. I know how devastated I was when I got laid off, and how I didn't even know how to start to think about what I was going to do next. I just, by rote, tried to get another job, and then eventually the universe told me that wasn't going to happen. And I was very fortunate to have people around me who were encouraging me and telling me, you know what, your life is not over. You've got a whole new chapter ahead of you. You can learn new things, right? We can learn new things. And I think that what I like to say in my communities is that we can do hard things, and we just have to take it one step at a time, and we need to give ourselves grace. It might take us a little longer than some other people based on sort of where we are in our journey, but we absolutely can do can do hard things and learn new things. We just have to take it one step at a time. So read the blog so you can just learn more about what masterminds are all about. Some of you in my community are much more advanced and might be interested. You might have explored the concept last year, but you didn't join, and so you want to be part of the 2025 cohort. And there are only a few spots because most of the people who joined in 2024 are going to stay. I'm very, very thankful for that, but there will be some spots, and you can learn more about it by going to my website, and then along the top you'll see the word mastermind, and you can click there to learn more about it. And it's application only, so you can click through to the application, fill out the application, and then we'll actually get on a Zoom call today because it is by application only, and I talk to every single prospect because I want to make sure that you're a good fit for the dynamic of my mastermind, my creative business mastermind. That's what it's called, the creative business mastermind. All right, so I will let you go. I'm going to go outside and enjoy the sunshine here in Nashville, and then I'll have more to tell you next week when I'm actually back home again, and because the mastermind will have taken place, and so I can tell you what I learned, what were my big aha moments, and what are things I'm going to apply in my business. And the thing about masterminds is when you come into them, you're really just listening for one idea. Just one idea that you can implement in your business and that can move you to the next level. Can't wait to see what that might be. Don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to be listening, taking tons of notes. So thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. And I always like to say in closing that I am Anne Follette, and it's never too late to create. Bye for now, and I'll see you next week.